Mr. Trouble never hangs around when he hears this mighty sound. Here I come to save the day. That means that Mighty Mouse is on the way. Yes, sir, when there is a wrong to right.
And now, here she is, the woman who ceaselessly fights to end the madness and ridiculousness of life and relationships, Dr. Becky Whetstone.
Hi there, I am marriage and family therapist Dr. Becky Whetstone, and this is Dr. Becky's Life and Relationship Mini School video number 2. And today I am talking about how to have the best life that you possibly can. We all want to have great relationships, and quite honestly, very few of us actually do. That's right. Most people out there may act like their lives are hunky-dory, but believe me, most are not. I know this because I know how much awareness, time, and effort it takes, and who do you know that is aware and taking time and effort to have great relationships? My guesstimate in the United States is that the number is well below 5% of the population. Now, we can talk about relationships with others all day long, and I do plan to cover that topic many times in the future. But today I want to talk about the most important relationship of all, and that's the one that you have with yourself. So please don't get up and run off. This is a very important topic. Please just sit down and listen. I cannot stress to you how important this information is. Now listen, get this in your head. The most important thing you can do, the first priority in your life, must be to make sure you are well taken care of in mind, body, and spirit. Please believe me when I say this is the most important thing you can do. There is nothing else that rates higher than this. For the spiritually inclined out there, I know you're going to be saying that a relationship with the higher source is more important. I live in the state of Arkansas, which is a Bible Belt state, so I know how many people feel about this. But today, I want to speak to everyone, regardless of their spiritual beliefs, and whether you are religiously, spiritually inclined or not. I still want you to know how very important the relationship with yourself is. I personally believe that self-care, meaning taking care of you, needs to be the #1 priority in your life. Did you hear that? I just said self-care and taking care of you must be first and foremost in your life above everything else. And no, people, it is absolutely not selfish to put self-care first. I can't tell you how many clients and people and friends tell me that they believe that self-care is selfish, and it is not. You have to look at it like this. You must prepare yourself to have plenty of energy so you will be full of vitality and spark. And why? Because you're going to need to have energy, spark, and vitality so you can bring your best self to everything that you do. To work, to your family, to friends, to hobbies, to whatever is important to you. Heck, I bring my best self to my dogs, to my work, to entertaining, to creating these video classes, to my relationship. And if I want to have a great relationship with my husband, I have to bring my best self to our marriage. Most people I've worked with do not put themselves first. And what about you? What are your priorities? If you're like most people, you've been putting everyone and everything else in front of you, and you know very well that this leads to becoming depleted and burned out. Right now, today, what would the movie about your life be called? Too many people would tell me it would be a tragic and sad tale called something like my many years of suffering and drudgery. This is not the way life was designed to be. No way are we humans meant to live this way. No. We're meant to have a life that's fun and satisfying almost every day, all the time. But of course, what I have found is that most people I work with in my counseling office put very little focus on themselves, and the lack of self-care shows. Many of my clients are not happy and thriving when they arrive. They're worn out, they're fed up, they're frustrated. They may have depression, they may have anxiety symptoms. They're usually reporting that they struggle with difficulty in their relationships, and they want to know what to do about it. Well, guess what? The first step is that I have to get you to turn your focus to you, to learn what is healthy for you and what makes your heart sing. Add things to your life that improve it, and then remove things from your life that weigh you down. What blows my mind as a therapist is that so many people resist the idea that making self-care a priority is a huge part of the answer to how to be happy in life. Many people seem to want me to teach them how to endure or tolerate their lives, but I tell them I just can't take part in teaching a person how to endure and tolerate misery and suffering when there is a much, much better way. And I'm going to show you that way right now. Think of it this way. You are a car, and the car will not operate properly or at all unless it is maintained and has fuel to give it energy. You have to maintain yourself in the same way. When I think of my own self-care, I see it as falling into 3 categories: mind, body, and spirit. Now listen, because this is the really important stuff. This is the recipe for how to begin to focus on your self-care. Let's take a look at the mind piece of this. The mind. With a healthy mind, you pay attention to what you're thinking and how whatever it is you're thinking affects you and how you feel. For instance, I take note of whether my thoughts are healthy or unhealthy for me. If I start to dwell on something that lowers my vibration from feeling peaceful to not feeling peaceful, I want to stop that right away and maneuver myself back to the higher vibration where I experience peace. Mindfully moving yourself from negative thoughts to positive or neutral thoughts is a totally learned skill. It is a technique that therapists sometimes refer to as thought stopping. You can picture a bad or healthy thought in your mind. It's coming into your awareness. You notice it, you make a note of it, and then you visualize a stop sign and consciously make yourself think of something else that brings you peace or pleasure. I usually visualize puppies or baby animals, and then my brain will take me off in a completely different direction away from the negative thoughts I was thinking. This skill, the skill of paying attention to what you're thinking and doing, is called mindfulness, and being aware of it is being called awareness. It's vital to being healthy to be mindful and aware. So lesson 1, pay attention to what's going on with you inside and out. When it comes to your body, you will also learn to pay attention to the messages that it sends. Our bodies speak to us constantly about what they need and what they don't need. For instance, your body could be telling you that you're doing too many things and not spending enough time resting and relaxing. It may signal this to you through tightness in your chest, headaches, fatigue, sleeplessness, or any feeling or symptom that you'd prefer not to have. This is the body's way of getting your attention so that you'll make some tweaks or changes and bring it back to a peaceful state. If we ignore these messages, the body will send us more noticeable messages that get stronger and stronger until finally, if we keep ignoring it, we become ill, all because we're not listening to what the body needs. When I see a person whose body is breaking down, I think of a person who ignores the messages that their mind and body have been sending. For example, my mind may tell me that I need to back out of something that I previously volunteered to do. My thoughts or inner voice may be saying to me, Becky, you already have too many things on your plate, and this added activity is going to send your stress level through the roof. You don't want to do this volunteer project anyway. So, if I choose to ignore the message that my mind is sending, my body is going to respond, probably by presenting a tightness in my chest, though it's different for everyone. You could feel a negative resisting response in your body most anywhere. For me, the tightness usually feels like a basketball that's been surgically inserted into my chest, though people feel these body messages any place and anywhere. If I tune into the feeling in my body and try to figure out what in my life may be causing it, I note that I am now dreading this event that I volunteered for. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what it is, okay? If I still take no action on the messages and end up doing the thing I volunteered for anyway, then I'm doing something that my soul has been trying to tell me is unhealthy for me. This is how we abuse ourselves, we humans, by pushing ourselves to do things that are not necessary and that we really don't want to be doing. People who keep pushing themselves to do such things will make themselves sick, depressed, anxious, depleted, tired, or all of the above. Doing these types of things over and over in our lives is what leads us ultimately to chronic stress-related illnesses. And the sad thing is, all of it could have been prevented. Our body also responds to the food that we put into it. When you feed your body what it really needs, it's going to reward you with energy and vitality. And when you feed it things that are not as healthy or useful as fuel, it's going to tell you by not running well, perhaps through feelings of sluggishness and heaviness. I always tell my clients, if you choose to ignore your body's messages, do it at your own peril. The truth of everything you need to know about you can be found by paying attention to feelings in your body. The spirit part for me has nothing to do with religion, although if religion is important to you, that's fine. For me, it's more about feeling connected and having and maintaining my inner peace. Christians refer to this feeling as abundance, or the feeling of enough. Like when you've eaten enough food, you feel satisfied, you feel the need for nothing more. When you have this feeling of enoughness in your life, it doesn't mean that you don't have ambition or dreams, or you never want to improve or grow in your life. But it does mean that right now you feel content and you have this feeling of enoughness. And this contentment and enoughness does not depend on achievements or sources outside yourself. When you're spiritually strong, you will then have the ability to process and deal with painful, difficult, or unfair events in the healthiest possible way. You will get knocked off the horse, as we all do from time to time. But when you're spiritually strong, you won't stay off the horse for long. This is one of the most important skills we can attain as an adult. Healthy spirituality keeps us thriving as we navigate the ups and downs of life. I want to tell you about two more very important things about your healthy relationship with yourself today. When you're doing this well, you will have stopped beating yourself up, and the self-abuse talk will be replaced with self-nurturing talk. So starting today, I want you to stop beating yourself up. And I'm not kidding. You have to find that inner voice that is a very loving parent that resides right inside your mind. I want you to find it and let it take care of you. I use my inner parent or inner therapist numerous times throughout the day, and she insists that I treat Becky very well, and I do. Second thing I want you to know today is, please throw away any idea that self-care is selfish. It's absolutely not selfish to take care of you and to make that the number one priority in your life. I've learned firsthand that if I don't make sure I'm thriving and nourished first and foremost, I can't be at my best in any other area of my life. It is your responsibility to bring your best self to life, to your work and your relationships. You can't do this without managing you and your mind, body, and spirit health. Well, there is so much more to know about how to maintain a healthy life with yourself and others. So keep watching for more quick tips from Dr. Becky's Life and Relationship mini classes. And do let us know if there are any subjects that you want to know about, and then watch for them to appear here. Thanks for watching, and be sure to follow our blog at drbecky.com, DoctorBecky.com.
Thanks for joining us for Dr. Becky's Life and Relationship Mini School. For more information and to join in our blog and our community, go to www.drbecky.com or email becky@drbecky.com.